All right, the sun's going down and it's windy, so we might as well work on the 1250. And we'll get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, I'm Rusty Oliver Man. It's been a while, but I've accumulated more parts, and I think I finally found a winning solution. So I guess let's recap some stuff. Number one, I got a new air cleaner. I ordered it. It came. It's beautiful. We'll swap that in here after a while. No, I'm not going to put Bondo on it to try to make it the same size as... No. Some people suggested that. That might be a good idea for an emergency fix, but we're not in an emergency situation here. We can do better than just Bondo. But that takes us to our main malfunction, which was starters. In the last one, we discovered that this 2020 John Deere starter would fit and turn the engine. However, it's so physically big that it was interfering with linkages and things. And then I got about 100 comments from people again. Why don't you get this rebuilt? Why don't you get this rebuilt? Do you remember the video where we took this apart and the armature is like somebody twisted it? It's past its day. I don't believe that it's fixable. I'll take it in there, but they're gonna laugh and say garbage. Then I had another 100 people or so comment and said, there's a guy on there that sells 1250 parts and he can get you a starter. Yes, I've talked to him. He can get a 24 volt starter, but we need a 12 volt starter because I have changed the tractor to 12 volt and that's what we're rolling with. I'm not going backwards in progress, so no. So after the last one, we were disappointed because we were gonna have to change a bunch of this linkage, which I have not hooked back up apparently. Yeah. And I talked about how possibly we would, you know, rework that a little bit to make her go. So I got online and started looking some more. I ordered a 1365 starter because I thought maybe for some reason you could use 2 out of the 3 holes and it would work because it's the right number of teeth and it turns the right way. No dice. But then I looked at some surplus something and I found this little starter. And it bolts right in there. Look at that. It's slightly shorter than that one too, which eliminates our problem of spacers, I hope. But I got this cheap enough that if it doesn't work, we aren't out anything. Consequently, to just get it in there, there was modifications that had to be made. Number one, the holes were not a big enough diameter. I had to ream them out to 1/2 inch size holes so that they would go on there. Secondly, it had this obnoxiously humongous plastic thing permanently on there, and we don't have room for that, so that had to go. There was actually 2 pieces. I don't know what happened to the other piece of it, but it doesn't matter. It's in the garbage. Another comment I got last time was, maybe your battery cable was bad the whole time and that's why your starter did not work. People, I think I know a little bit better than that. That's not the problem. If you remember back in the video where we first messed with this and found out the starter was bad, way back, the starter would click, but it wouldn't do anything else. So the battery cable's fine, but somewhere between then and now, it has went bad for whatever reason. I don't know, doesn't matter. I got a different one made, and that's what we're gonna roll with. So we'll put that on here in a little bit. But I think for, boy, that's annoying with that wind hammering, but let's just go for broke. Let's put it together and see what happens. I'll feed the new battery cable up under there. It actually is supposed to go in some of these clamps, but I don't know. Maybe we'll do that, maybe we won't. We'll just see what life brings at us. That's a pretty nice view for you, maybe, sort of. Okay, well, we're getting there. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna let me. That's fine. We're gonna have to just zip tie it to the clamp because this is too wide to go through there. I guess I could probably manhandle it somehow and get it, but is it worth that? I don't know, is it? Come on, let's do the most difficult thing. Come on. If we do it right, we'll pull off the insulation, thus rendering our battery cable susceptible to failures. Sure. We are permanently owning that battery cable now for this one project. It sucks to be fat, I'll tell you that. I'm having a lot of struggles. Now, just based on how this is looking, perhaps we should tighten the small one first and then put the big thing on, because it looks like it'll make us struggle. Especially since we don't have the right tools again. I have sockets right here, but they don't go down that small. So we're gonna fight as usual. We want this to start from the seat. Now maybe that's a lot of wishful thinking, but it just amazes me how it was working just beautifully. And then one day it just decided no, it was tired of it. And that really is crap. Because we're trying to make it better. It should want to play along. It should want to help us. Oh. Yeah, is this wiring gonna not? Yeah, it's not gonna play ball, is it? It's gonna struggle. Let's just. See, the trouble is, if you remember, the original thing that was on here, the solenoid was clocked out to here, so that gained us a lot more space, you see. Whereas now, we've got stuff way out in the open, and that's not cool. I don't like that rendition of wiring, but we'll go with it. Now this, I probably do have a socket that will fit. I probably do have a socket that will fit or not. That's fine too. Well, that's bizarre, because I could have swore that I had it on there. There we go. All right. Send your positive thoughts now, because we don't want to have to take this apart again. We want this to just work. That piece of tin over there, I wish it would either blow off or stop. But it's back there hammering away. All right. That's there. Should we try it from the seat? Let me go grab the battery and we'll see if we got our problem solved. All right, if we turn the key on, we should have a red light. Okay, also, before I do that, the other day, another comment I got was, you didn't turn the disconnect switch on. Yes, it was on. It just did not work. So we have a light. Oh, now why did we lose our... Okay, we must not have tight enough connections. I can't imagine that would be the... Yeah, the ground was kind of loose. Probably maybe if a guy would actually tighten the bolts instead of just pure pressure. Now, will you work, my friend? No, probably not. Well, look at that. That little sucker comes to life, my friend. That's better than it ever was. Is it putting a ton of pressure on it? I don't know. Am I gonna look? Probably not. Am I going to try to immediately start it? You bet. And then if we get it going good, we will swap out this air cleaner, see? It's probably gonna need the good stuff. That's why I did that. All right. Come on, buddy boy. Nothing. Okay. I don't know why I'm surprised, but I bet you that we're going to be sanding on the old points, because anytime stuff sits, it just don't want to play nice again. And then what you're going to want to do... Oh, another funny comment I got all the time was, just get a remote mount solenoid for this starter. And how do you think that the Bendix would pull out if I didn't put that style solenoid on, you know? Funny stuff, people. It's almost like nobody pays attention. All right. I feel like we just did this not too long ago. And here we are doing it again. And here we are doing it again. Come on. Well, this is not working very good. There. That gas is not looking very good either. That is nasty. I wonder if we should just... We should probably start again. I don't know. Whatever. Let's see if we got fire now. Don't think so. Why don't we have any fire? Okay, now, does that mean that one of my wires pulled off? Because I've had that problem before. It did. Dumb thing. We're going to have to make that better. Yep, that was it. Wire pulled off underneath the dash. Silly Knutson. All right, try again. Right to life. Ooh, the starter hangs up. That's going to be a problem, potentially. Why are you not working? Well, you silly goose. I tell you, strange things happen, friends. I thought we were good to go. But now it's like we lost fire again. We got plenty of fuel. Yeah, we lost fire to the points. There we go. Just gotta play with them a little, I guess. Stupid things. Come on, honey. Okay, starter. You don't let loose. Well, it runs, it starts, but obviously there's something wrong. And the thing I'm wondering that is wrong is perhaps my spacing is not right. And it once again, it wants to grab and not let loose. So I'm supposing what we're gonna try now, see, I don't really have it bolted solid very good. Talking to myself, what I'm gonna try now is I don't think I need as much space as I had on the other one. I just don't. I don't think I need that. Let's see if I can get that. That back bolt's gonna be a trick, but I think it's doable. I think it's better than it was with the other starter. So I think this is gonna work. I think it's just a matter of I gotta do a little bit of finagle engineering here. This one is not as long as the other one, so I wouldn't think it would need as much spacing as that other one did. It went in there and it didn't hurt a thing. I think it beat that. Let's try to make a mess. No. Let's put in my spacers I made for the other one, and let's see what that does. If it doesn't catch the flywheel, then we need to go shorter. I don't like that. I would rather it not be that much of a gap, but I'm more interested in it working than aesthetics. I can come up with a better spacer that goes all the way around. Some people were very concerned about that. They said that I was gonna break the starter in half. Well, that might happen, but one way or the other, we're gonna. Boy, that didn't work at all. Okay. By the time we figure this out, we'll probably have this starter destroyed. But that's okay, it was super cheap. I think it's like a forklift starter. Okay, if I do this right, what I'll do is spend 25 minutes looking for the tools, because that's hay. But what I'd like to do is I'm gonna have to get a short extension, I guess, so I could get back behind there and tighten that back one, because that ain't gonna. Let me grab like a 6-inch extension and we'll try it. Let's put this back in there. I like how this would go. I mean, because I got lots of room to maneuver, a lot more than I did with some of the other choices of starter. Even the factory one. I say that as I can't seem to get it what I want. I can't see what I'm doing. Why is that not? Okay, maybe what I need to do is loosen this one back up. Try to tighten that back one first. Or maybe I could just full send it. And what I need to do is try to find a nut that fits those size threads, but it's the next size down maybe. Or maybe I need to grind into this starter to make up more room. The choices are endless. Let's hope that's good enough to see if it'll go. Now, if it horrendously makes noise or doesn't start, then we know. I like that better. I think that put less pressure on it, but it's not releasing. I don't understand why. Well, that's not good. I don't think it's that it's not releasing electrically. It's that it's hanging up in there and it won't release for whatever reason. Okay, I guess for test purposes, let's disconnect our, which this is not good. Yeah, see, that's what I was afraid of. Take the battery cable off. Let's disconnect this wire, and I will manually start it by touching it, just to make sure that this is not, for some reason, engaging and not letting loose. But I don't think that's it. I think there's some kind of problem with either the teeth are grabbing too tight and they're not letting it release, or maybe this starter is a piece of crap right out of the box and the Bendix isn't doing its thing, because this was super cheap. This was like an overstock, sellout, closeout starter that was like 60 bucks. So it's possible that that is our issue. But I'm not willing to give up yet, because this is the best choice yet. It's worked pretty darn good, considering. And then again, there's another choice that might be, maybe there's a way to, of course now I'm gonna probably have to get that out of the way, unless I just go get a socket. Maybe there would be a way to like file on the teeth to make them more wanting to let loose. You know what I'm saying? That could be a choice too. All right. Too big. That's what she said. Let's see, there we go. I don't think this is it, but just so that we know, so that people don't say in the comments that it was, that my key was stuck. Your key's stuck and that's why it's not doing the thing. It would be nice if this was it, but I doubt it. This would be the simplest fix. But I just know it's not. I just know. Friends, I just know. It don't always work that way. All right. Ignition on. Start. Engage. Oh, we're so close. If it would just do the thing. Now we're gonna run out of daylight right when we are making strides in engineering here. But we're making battery still hooked up. Yeah, let's take this back off and see why, if we can even see why. You would think it would finally just wear in and it would work, but I'm sure that won't happen. The starter gets less hot now, so I think that the spacing is probably about right. And of course this is not going to work now because we want it to. So we're going to struggle. I'm just about to call it a day because I've just about had enough. If I don't want to play nice, see what's going to happen is it's going to come off and then it's immediately going to break off the wire, making that struggle we just had pointless. Come on, baby doll. I'm trying to help you. Why don't you cooperate? You don't have to struggle all the time. Okay, well, 2 pieces fell at the bottom. That's good. End of day. Boy, you can't even tell on the flywheel anything. And you can't even tell on that anything. It's just not kicking it back. And I wonder if that's my problem or if that's just that this starter is actually garbage. Maybe we ought to give it a test. I don't know if I can hold it in some such way. It's gonna probably be a wild animal if I try to do this, but you probably want to see too, don't you? Well, guess what? So do I. You just watch and let's see if that Bendix goes back in. It does. Well, shoot. That means we still have something not quite right. We have the correct, a lot of stuff. We just don't have the correct letting it loose. And I don't understand that. I don't understand how the other 2 pieces of the puzzle can work just fine, but it won't let loose. I mean, we could try to, I don't really want to shim it out more because I think we're far enough, but it would be an interesting experiment to see if just a few more shims would make some sort of difference. Let's put this, I don't know that this is going to work, but we're going to try it anyway. This probably won't work because I had to grind on those pretty aggressively. See, look at how far out that is. I don't like that. But like I said before, I could make an adapter plate or a spacer that was solidly the... And see, there's another problem, is maybe it's because I don't have them evenly tight. Because I can't get in there good enough. And see, that might be my problem. Because if it was crooked some way, why, it probably would not let loose either. And if I tighten that one, it's gonna put it tighter into the flywheel. Let's try it again. Let's actually put the... Well, now wouldn't you like to be able to see what I was talking about the whole time? It's the end of the day and my brain is not functioning at full capacity. But if I do all this, let's see if we can make it. I need to get in there somehow. All right. There it is. Okay. That's way away from there. Way more than I'd like to see, but that's what it takes. It takes that much to get it where it's going to let it loose. So, I also didn't have that super tight, and it would be nice to know. All right, we're gaining on the solution, friends. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but it actually does. Oh, shoot. I dropped that. There it is. I'm tempted to pull one shim out. One more and see if it's just barely or what I need exactly. Also, I think I found my problem with... So I think my problem here, why I can't get the socket on that back side thing, is because of this piece here that's sticking up into the cutout. So I need to grind that, radius it into that so that I get can put my socket in there, and then I'll be able to get it what I want. But then the next thing I want to try is, let's try it with just one spacer or one thing and the thick spacer, and just hone in on what exactly is the thickness that I really have to make it go. I guess before I do anything, I'm gonna go grind this out because we really need to get it totally tight. All right, experimental engineering. It's working. We just have to complete a few more processes. Some people would probably arithmetic this to death. In other words, they wouldn't do what I'm doing. They would do all kinds of calculations, and they would work it out in paper or some kind of computer thing. And by the end of the day, what did you accomplish? Just do it. Find something and make it work. Now I need to get the shorter extension again and see if I can sneak behind. And now that I have successfully carved a hole in that housing, can I get the socket on? Maybe that wasn't the only problem with that plan, but I guess it wasn't. I kind of get on there a little bit. That's pretty good though, tight wise. Okay, sure. All right, let's try it. Well, let's try it with the jump pack one more time, because we did change something. And then we don't have to take everything loose if we have to put the second shim back in. Also, what did I do with my jump wire again? It's amazing how I can lose things right in front of my face. Well, I've got nature's jump wire, a screwdriver. Maybe. Well, cooperate. Come on. Ooh, that sounded like it hung up. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. I think it's going to do the same thing. Is it gonna do the same thing that it did before? Maybe I do need to go for broke and hook it up because if we don't hear it run, we're not gonna know if it really let loose, which means I get to fight with this wonderful thing again. Why don't you cooperate, you? I'll tell you. I didn't put that on, but that's okay. I'm gonna just... I don't think it's gonna work, so I think I'm gonna have to put that other thing back in there. Let's just see, maybe I can fool this into playing nice. Come on, baby doll. Nope, still not right. That doesn't work. It takes all of them that I had. That's still hanging up. So we've honed in on the magical formula. The worst part is we're running out of threads in our block when we get that far away. So whatever kind of adapter piece we make, we're gonna have to take that into consideration somehow. Okay. Ugh. We're gonna get it, friends. There's nothing we can't do when we're armed with stupidity. We can do anything. Let's put that one on there, that one there, that one there. A short one up there. Alright. We're gonna get it, friends. Fear not. What I'm gonna do is trick it into playing along. See, that time I didn't have as much room here, which makes me wonder if I'm actually moving it just enough that it's not, I know what I'm thinking in my brain, but I probably don't work that out on paper very good. Well, there goes some kind of heliocopter. Is it looking for drugs? Whatever. Probably need to go that way. That's where the drugs live, over in that direction. Whatever. Probably burning our tax dollars out the tailpipe of that thing. Sure. Mickey Mouse setup. Mickey Mouse setup. Not gonna tighten up anything. Ah, hand loose. That'll work. Now. Well, friends, that's the winner. That's the combination that it takes. That thickness makes that starter work great. It's got a little, there we go. Everything's falling down. Nothing wants to cooperate. But I'd like it to run a minute because it doesn't run. It hasn't run for a long time. What a little sweetheart. All we had to do is iron out its kinks. going to be making a better adapter plate, or spacer is what I'm saying, so that it actually has a 360 flat surface to hold up against. But that's pretty cool. Another tractor that was left for dead. Look at the oil pressure, friends. Charges the battery. Honks the horn. It is a cute little feller, or fellette, I guess, since we're calling it Francesca the Fiat. Yeah. Shut her down. Shut her down. Let's try it again. Start it. Oh, don't you want to run, baby doll? I don't have it very... There we go. Still learning our quirks. Oh, we might actually be out of gas. Let's shut her down. If you want to call that gas. That doesn't really look very much like gas, but there is substance in the tank, whatever it is. Mystery though it may be. Well, I'm going to call this a win. It took me 3 starters to figure this out, but I did figure something out. So now my homework is going to be to make it better. We made it functional, but we need to deal with that space in between there, and probably get like a caliper and actually measure it, and then see about, I don't know if I could find somebody with a CNC or something, or I'm not real sure how I would go about that, but I can find something that will fit in there, you know, to make me a nice adapter plate. And that'll take up that thickness and eliminate having 3 different types of bushings and a mess. So now the only thing left to do would be to change air cleaners, but we are way over budget on this video, time-wise. We are into the, yeah, we're over an hour again, and I don't ever know if people really want an hour of this nonsense or not. I don't hardly want an hour of it, so I can't imagine anybody else does. But I'm going to try to just quickly pop those out now that the muffler's good and hot, and I'm going to work right around it. See, that way I can burn my flesh off of my bones. And I don't know how difficult this is going to be. I have had this loose because I had to move it around in a circle, but I'm going to definitely burn myself. Sweet. Come on. Awesome. Did we get our wrench trapped? I think we did. I love it when that happens. Oh, cute. We're going to lose all those blocks probably before we're done. Those cute little half rounds that are super important and impossible to replace. Also, you must want a different angle because you're really fighting me. There we go. Come on, baby doll. I didn't really want to bend you, but I'll do whatever's necessary. All right, 1 air cleaner delete. Let's pop this other one in, but I think before we do that, we probably should service it. And by service it, I mean jump the cup on the ground and just not worry about it. you know? That's an appropriate response. What I'm saying is, I'm not sure that I can physically get that. We can try it here in a minute. I'm not sure that I can actually get the cup on it with the alternator in place if I don't. I don't know. We've made a mess. Let's just accept our defeat and move on. I'm gonna clean this out right quick and then pour some oil in it and we'll go. All right, if we do this right, we'll ruin our life and make a mess. I'm pretty sure it has to be right there. I don't know. Let's just put one on just to get it started, and we'll hold it there. And we'll put this one in. Then I guess we'll tighten it and then loosen it again after we get the second one on, because that's how we roll. We don't ever do anything once. We need to make sure that I think we're still clocked right. Let's pause. We need to make sure that this is going to go. That actually goes so much better. I wonder what I did wrong. If that goes there, then we need to quickly try this hood. I don't think that part can change. But what can change is the height. And that's adequate right there. That'll work. So we're good. We are good. If we just tighten her up right like that, as quickly as possible. And we're gonna have to take this one loose again anyway, so. Now we'll put the lock washer nut on the bottom one. And we'll take the top one back loose and get the lock washer put on, because we couldn't get that a minute ago. Then we'll struggle and cry. And we won't get this right. Now take this one loose again. It's a procedure, friends. It's a procedure of sadness. Awesome. Not only did we drop it, but we lost it too. No, we found it back. That super important half moon. Now, look at that. Progress. Actual progress. Let's tighten them evenly. All right. Now, that is not dented anymore, and it's not dented here, and I think I can actually get clamps on there that'll actually seal, and life will be grand. We figured out our starter. We just need to make an adapter plate. So overall, I would say this is a successful failure. We figured out what we need to do. We know how to make it work. We just have to do a little bit more homework to get it dialed in. But I think we're going to call this one here while we're ahead of the game for a change. So this is where we'll leave it. After watching what you just saw, do you feel like your IQ has dropped lower than your credit score? Well, there's no reason that both of us should be miserable, so go ahead and hit that thumbs up and leave a comment. That stuff costs you nothing, and it really helps me out. Your banker may not approve, but I know mine will. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.